Hello there. I'm Jen Houston, owner of the Artsy Fartsy Gallery. I'm a full-time independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm so excited that you are able to join me today. I appreciate every single one of you joining me this morning, and today's template is going to use up a lot of that designer series paper or pattern paper that you have hidden out in your closet somewhere because you love it so much. Well, let's get that paper out and let's get it on a card and let's bless somebody today with it. So, are you ready to roll? Here are the measurements. You need a card base that is measured at 8.5 by 5.5, and you fold it in half so it should look like a little card. Number two, you need a layer of designer series paper, or that's what Stampin' Up! Calls their pattern paper. So if you can get one that's measured at 4 by 5.25. Our second layer is going to be something that matches with that first pattern paper, or you can also use just plain cardstock, a different color or whatever. So we just want this all to match, right? So it should be measured at 3.5 by 2.75. Next, we have a sentiment layer. So this is the layer that we're going to be stamping onto. So you kind of want it to be a little bit lighter, or as I will show you a little bit later on in the show, how about some embossing powder? That will look good if it's a dark piece of paper. So get out a piece of paper that is 2.5 by 2.5. You'll need a little strip of piece of paper. It should be either the coordinating kind of cardstock color or some, maybe you have some more designer series paper that looks pretty cool with the rest of your design there. And that should be measured at 3/4 inches by 4 inches. And then we need a circle that's measured at 1.25 inch, or if you have a button or a bow or some kind of fun embellishment, this would be a great chance to use it, as I'll show you later on. All right, and lastly, of course, we need some kind of an adhesive. I'm using snail tape. You'll need some ink colors, so if you have colors that coordinate with your cardstock and things, wonderful. And lastly, some kind of larger sentiment, or maybe you have two sentiments that can kind of go together. That would work as well. So I'm just going to set this screen up here so that we can get rolling on this. Here we go. All right, so this is the card that we're going to make today. The pattern is from Dawn Stamping. I got the idea from her, so I want to make sure she gets credit for that. But Crystal made a beautiful card and showed it on the Monday Creative Escape last Monday, and she inspired me to get out those bright colors and try them out. And I think they turned out really well. As most of you know, I'm kind of a dull, calm kind of colored person, so this was very hard for me, but I know that not everybody is like me, and so I will, when I give out this card, I will think of people in my life who are very bright and cheerful and who would like this card. So I also added some designer series paper to the envelope flap. Might as well use up that paper, like I've said, so get it out there and get it out to somebody, get it in their hands instead of in your closet, right? All right, the paper that I'm going to be using today is from Happiness Blooms, and it's a beautiful, bright, and exciting paper, so if you're liking this, you'll need to get some. All right, so I've got my envelope, and I'm just going to set that aside for now. And here are all my pieces. Now the first thing I want to do is, because I'm using Night of Navy as my cardstock base, which I will mention again is measured at 8.5 by 5.5. Because it's so dark, you can't see your writing. So I need to put an insert layer. And I just put Whisper White, and it's measured at 4 by 5.25. There we go. All right, next we're going to get out our pattern piece layer. Now, of course, Stampin' Up! Makes, you know, beautiful patterns. Like, see this to me looks good, right? But we will use this side because I'm trying to branch out with my brightness. All right, so here we go. I'm going to glue that onto the front of the card base. There it is. Next, we have a piece of cardstock or pattern paper, whatever you think you want to use, and it is measured at, let me see, 2 3/4 by 3 1/2. Yes, and I'm just going to glue that down. Now I'm just going to tilt this a little bit. So you don't want it to get outside your paper because then it won't fit in the envelope. So make sure it's, you know, still fitting in there. But just at a little bit of an angle, that's all. Next, I'm going to, let's see, I put this strip on first. This little strip, of course, was the back of that pattern paper, and I thought it matched so nicely. And that's what's great about Stampin' Up! Products, that they match so well. And it makes it easier to get everything coordinating nicely. So just the lower third, go over top of this angled piece at the bottom, so you're kind of covering that up. Next, I have a little piece. Now, I told you to get a light color because we'll be stamping on it, but this, as I'm going to show you, I'm going to emboss on so that we're able to use a darker color. So before I glue it down, I think I better do my embossing in case I make a boo-boo and I need to magically flip it over. So to emboss, if you've never done this before, it's lots of fun. You need Versamark ink. It's a clear ink. It is very, very, very sticky. And so when you stamp it on your piece of paper, you're not going to see a whole lot. But just know that that sticky, sticky ink is there. Okay. Press it down just like a normal stamp, normal ink. And then I'm going to, let's cover up this Versamark so it doesn't dry out. And then I'm going to, I have a little tray. Some people put it in little, you know, Tupperware containers or that kind of thing. Ooh, I see I've got some black on here. Let me get rid of that, otherwise it's going to be kind of an odd color. So I just lay it inside here. Oh, there's still just a minute. I don't want to get black in my white embossing powder. I think that's why a lot of people just designate one kind of container per color. That way they don't get mixed up. It's probably a smart idea. All right. Otherwise, I just bought this little tray at the dollar store, I don't know, a lot of years ago, so I'm not sure if they still have them or not. Now, I just remembered I did not use my embossing buddy, so we may have some pieces that are stuck where they're not supposed to be stuck. Yep, see that? Lots. So, and of course I put hand lotion on just before I came on because my hands were burning. Welcome to the mountains and the dry climate, hey? I think we'll be all right. It's not my best. You know what we can do? Let's flip it over. And I've got myself my little embossing buddy here. Let's start from scratch so that it doesn't make a disaster. So this embossing buddy just helps get rid of any static that might be on it because my hands are a little bit oily right now. It gets rid of those oils so that your powder doesn't stick to that. It just sticks to the ink. Okay, let's start from scratch here. I'm going to take out my Versamark again and let's stamp on here. Now instead of pouring it on again, I'm just gonna kind of scoop it up. Oh, look at that. So much better. It's not sticking where I don't really want it. Looks good. Gives it good coverage. Okay, I'm just going to set that aside. And on my little wheelie cart here, I have my heat embossing tool. So I'm just going to go over here and hook it up. I don't know if you can see. There we go. Okay, so what happens is that powder that you put on actually melts over top of that where you stamped, and so it's not coming off. So it's one great way to stamp onto dark colored paper, and so that you can see your writing. So that's always a good trick. All right, so it says, "You make me smile." I'm going to put this on. You know what I was thinking, which I didn't do before? I could pop this up. I don't know. I think I'm going to. Let's get some dimensionals. This is what happens when you work throughout the day on Stampin' Up. You just, you know, you play and you try something, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Or you can, you know, make it work by adding some things or take away things. But by far, this is the piece that is the most difficult for me as well. Part of my job is trying to think of ideas. So that's why these templates and things are a great idea, because they help you with getting going. So now I'm going to attach this little piece that it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of a button. I could do a little bow. It's too bright. I'm going to put that there. But this, since this part is up, I'm going to put the dimensional on one half and some snail tape on the other. That way it'll be kind of even. See how that works? So it's lined up nicely with this one, and this has the dimensional underneath it. All right, so I thought I was going to do something different with that one, but I think it's for the next card. All right, I'm just going to work on the envelope. Oh, and I had something I was going to stamp on the inside. So that "You Make Me Smile" is from the Well Said stamp set, which is a great. It comes with kind of the main sayings, and then it also has little sayings that you can throw in the inside, which is perfect. Less you have to write. Oh, what am I doing here? Okay, snail tape onto the envelope flap all around the outsides, and let's see, you just kind of lay it just along the crease there, give it a rub, and I'm going to get out my scissors and cut off what we don't need. And of course it's better to turn, it's hard to see there, right? So let's turn this around and cut from the back. There. All right, now I was going to stamp this in there. The world needs more people like you. Isn't that sweet? So I'm going to use my Night of Navy, and that stamp set is a celebration stamp set that you can get for free. Let me concentrate here. not a good multitasker. There we go. And it is called Part of My Story. And so they have quite fun sayings. The world needs more people like you. Can you imagine getting a card in the mail that says, oh, that's so sweet. I'm so glad you are part of my story. Know that today a friend is thinking of you. You're my chosen family. Let's get together and giggle. And here's to those who inspire us and don't even know it. So that's a pretty sweet set. For free. There we go. So there's our first little card. Nice and bright, little wild. Not my style, but hey, let's go with it, right? Okay, so we're going to put that aside. Get that out of the way for the next box, which is, let me see. Yep, this one. Okay, so once again, I'm using the Happiness Blooms set. Let me get rid of this box here. I have some paper that I'm going to use on my envelope flap a little later. And once again, I'm using Night of Navy because it goes so well with this paper. I love it. Once again, 8.5 by 5.5, folded in half. And because it's so dark, I need to get that white layer on the inside. And that layer is measured at 4 inches by 5.25. Line it up, lay it down. Okay, so on the front, look at those daisies. Get out the snail tape. Lay that down. Lovely. Okay, now I have my next layered piece, which is actually on the back of these little daisies, and it is measured at 2 3/4 by 3.5. So I'm going to lay that down. Woo! Throwing stuff around. Okay, so once again, make sure you don't go off of the card, otherwise it'll make it hard to get in the envelope. Now I'm going to put my little layer across the bottom, and it's measured at 3/4 inches by 4 inches, and I don't want this bottom to show, pardon me, so just hitting up the bottom there. Good. Next, I am going to I cut actually a smaller layer than what I was supposed to. I measured it at 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. It's supposed to be 2.5 by 2.5, but nobody's going to see the original card. Nobody's going to care, right? So I'm going to glue this down. This is Call Me Clover, by the way. What a fun green. Reminds me of shamrocks. And so just lay that down there. Okay. Next, I am going to do something a little bit different, because of course, they don't all have to look the same. They don't all have to be the same. And so I'm going to jazz this one up just a tad by stamping the happy birthday saying. And this one came from the Itty Bitty Birthdays, which is another cool set. Oh, everything you could ever want to say on a birthday card, it's right here. So that's awesome. I'm going to use my Night of Navy onto Whisper White cardstock, the happy birthday. Now, as you can see, I didn't line that up so well when I was putting on the label onto the foam sticker. But that's okay. Nobody's going to see. All right, good. Now, because that's bright blue, I'm going to get that off of there on my Simply Chamois. This thing is awesome. It looks disgusting, but I tell you, it gets those stamps super clean, and it doesn't take so much effort to wash as the scrub did. So that's always awesome. And you don't have to wait for it to be dry. You don't have to make sure it doesn't mold. So this thing's pretty cool. And I put it in one of the cases. You can buy spare stamp cases. And so I just house it in there and works great. Now for this happy birthday, I'm going to actually trim these words out. So happy and birthday separate. I'm going to pop them up. My dimensionals are over here now. And let's see, will they fit? I think they will. I probably could have got away with one there. Anyways, it'll be glued there for a long time, right? And one more over here. Just fits. Awesome. So we'll take off that backing of those dimensionals. It's kind of like double-sided sticky tape with foam in the middle. There we go. Make sure those get in the garbage because you will find them everywhere. All right, I'm gonna go happy a little crooked. And birthday. There, a little crooked. And instead of using a circle here, what I just thought, because these daisies are here, we have the daisy punch. How perfect is that? So I thought I would make a daisy and stick that down there. So that's my plan. I'm sticking to it. All right, so I had one that had little notches out. Okay, now to make your, where is my bone folder? Oh well, if you had your bone folder somewhere, you could just kind of give these a little bit of a tug. I don't want to pull too hard. Oh well. Just kind of give them a little bit of a pull, and that kind of raises them up, right? Gives them a little more dimension. So I always do use 3 and overlap them. Totally up to you what you prefer. Maybe you like the 1 look. Maybe 2 is good enough for you. All up to you. So this punch is coming in handy. Okay, and then we're just going to layer them on top of each other. So I'm just going to put a little snail there, layer the next one on, just a little off-centered. Stick down, a little more snail, and kind of cover that up where it hasn't been covered yet. Doo-doo-doo. Works good. And then I'm just going to place that on there. And some snail there. Lots, because you want it to stick. Okay, and place that there. And I thought, oh, that would look cute with a little button. See? Doesn't that just finish it off cute? Oh, I like it. So this button has come from, I think it's called True Gentleman. I'll find it later. I'll write it in the comments. I'm using glue dots to stick this button on. I use quite a few because I want to make sure it's stuck. Okay, what's happening here? Slide that back on. There we go. Okay. And I think I want to, because I'm a little anal that way, I'm lining up those 4 dots, making them nice and even. If I can't get my COM card, I'm gonna have some control over that button, eh? Isn't that adorable? It's cute. So now we'll just go and do the envelope. Once again, I'm just gonna put some of that paper on the envelope flap. Ooh, green or blue. with the blue because it's kind of a daisy feel. Flip it over and give it a trim. I also had a saying to put on the inside of this card. Good. Whoops. And what was it? It says, "It's sure to be a fun day." That's cute. And that one I got also from the Itty Bitty Birthdays. It's sure to be a fun day. So let's get out. Ooh, I'm going to show you this trick. All right, so I don't buy the in color stamp pads. For me, just having them out for 2 years, I want to either absolutely love the color and be totally committed to it, or what I do is I buy the in color Stampin' Write markers, and of course they have the paintbrush end. So instead of an ink pad, it's a lot cheaper to buy these, and basically you just color over top of your stamp with that paintbrush end, and it acts like a stamp pad. It's sure to be a fun day. Done! See? Isn't that amazing? Just, you'd never know I didn't have that color of stamp pad. And oh, that's not my Simply Chamois. Here it is. And you would never know that it was a marker. Fabulous. And there's our second little card. Whoo, it's busy. All right, next card is this one. Let me get out some of this stuff out of my way here. All right, for this one, it's still the Happiness Blooms stamp set. Sorry, Happiness Blooms paper, designer series paper. And I'm going to, here's my envelope and my little piece I'm going to add on there later. All right, so here is my card base, and it's lovely lipstick. And of course, it's too dark to see your writing, I find. And you know what? That whole layer on the inside just makes it look a little more complete, right? It's not a naked card, as a lot of them say. It's finished. Just look, it just brings it up that notch, right? All right. So for this one, I've decided to use dirty Whisper white paper. So thank goodness it has the other side. I'm going to put that down. So for this one, I kind of wanted to use more cardstock as opposed to the pattern paper, just so you can see what that looks like. Okay, there we go. Next, I just thought about something, I think. I don't know. Well, I'll show you a technique here. All right, I just remembered that instead of having this strip across, I wanted to use a ribbon. So however, I want to tuck that ribbon underneath that white layer, so I shouldn't have added it on here just yet. So what you can do is, you know that dental floss you get from the dentist, and you know you got piles of it. Well, what you can do is shimmy it underneath that layer. That's a lovely noise. Helps if you have two hands, that's for sure. But it is possible with one. And there we have it. Look at that. So, goodness. So, as you can see, it hasn't warped the paper. It hasn't ripped the paper. You know how you try and get it off and it just tears and it looks disastrous. So that is an amazing trick that you should have in your arsenal in case you make a boo-boo. Okay, so I am going to just go with this for now. So this is my pattern piece I was going to use. So it is measured once again at, oh, maybe I should use, oh, I think I like that better. Okay, another thing to show you. Another tip. We're getting lots of tips today from all my boo-boos. So I kind of like this side better. I was planning the other side, but let's go with this. So if you put snail on a piece of paper and you're like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have done that, get out your Stampin' Buddy, embossing buddy, and you can put a layer, just kind of tap it on. Same with your workspace. If you get too much, there. It's a little sticky, but it's not so horrible. Move this way. Glue that down. But it, you know, it's a little sticky, but it's not gonna break the bank. Or like I say, it works great on the surface if you get a little bit of glue there. Hello, puppies. And you don't want the glue there because it starts ripping your projects. Okay, there's that one. And what I wanted to do with this layer is actually stamp in lovely lipstick. I'm using the Incredible Like You stamp set here. It's got such beautiful sayings, and I love that the words are nice and bright. The font is so cute. It's just so perfect. Now, where's my lovely lipstick? Here we are. Once again, this is in color, so I don't have the stamp pad, but I'm going to use the marker to color the stamp with. Okay. I'm going to stamp that onto my little piece of Calypso Coral. Incredibly proud of you. Now, if it's not quite right, take your marker and just kind of help it to look right. This is a little bit lighter, so I'll just go over top. Okay, I think that looks good. There. And before I put that down, I just remembered I need to get this down. This ribbon isn't as thick as what the strip would be, so I'm just going to actually not cover the whole thing, the whole bottom. Let's leave it hanging out. And the way I do this is I've got little strips of snail. This is lovely, lovely lipstick ribbon, by the way, that is comes as a pack with Flirty Flamingo, and I like how it has the white stitching on the edges. Okay, now I'm going to put that on top of there. There. And what I did was I cut out one of the flowers that was in the pattern paper, and I thought that could act as my little button or my little circle here. I think I'm going to pop that up. Might as well. Alright, here's my dimensionals. Stick 2 on there. Okay, so here goes the little flower. And then I thought, oh, we have those little wooden elements. So I thought that would be kind of cute on there. Let's use one of those. Once again, let's not hoard our little embellishments. Let's get them out. Get them used, unless I put it. Nah. Put them on there. All right. Now we can attach it to our card base. Oh, out. go. Lovely. All right, and now for the envelope. I need a new tape. Let's put some snail on the flap again. Line up that paper along the edge, or the crease, I guess, the fold. And let's cut it out. Okay. You know, I thought it does have quite a few patterns of flowers here. It'd be kind of cute to cut out one. I know I have extra paper that this came from. You could cut out that flower and put it there. You could cut out this smaller flower and put it up there. I think I'm going to do that when afterward, just to give it a little extra on here. I think it'll look pretty. All right, and there is that card. How cute, how simple. Okay, and now for our last card. This one is going to be a little bit different in that it is all white. So instead of using designer series paper, I decided to emboss white pieces of paper, and that would give it some texture, something else, right? Something a little different. So this is the tufted embossing folder. I love it. It's just a neat look to it. This one is the tin tile embossing folder, and that's going to be my piece that's a little bit crooked. And I thought this would be a beautiful wedding card. I don't know, just my thoughts. All right, I'm gonna tilt this one up here. Now, before, hey, I learned from last time, I'm going to put my ribbon. This is the white, what's it called? Flax ribbon. White flax ribbon in the new catalog. And I'm going to put some snail on the back there, 2 little strips so that I can wrap it around. So I just wrap. So there again, I could have used another piece of patterned, a strip of piece of paper, but I thought, no, I'll use some ribbon. The next layer, I used the corrugated piece. Now that is sometimes tricky to stick down because it's so bumpy. So what I like to use is this tear-in tape, and it's super strong. And so that's what I prefer when I'm using that. So you just tear off this tape. I'll give it one more down the middle. Okay, and you just want to give it a little push, a burnish, that's what we call it. And then you can peel off the back. There we go. And let's go with this one. There we go. And our last one. Okay, so I'm going to just lay this on top like that, and I wanted to put this plain piece over top, so I just cut it a little bit smaller than the 2.5 by 2.5. It looks like it would be maybe 2 by 2, and there again I think I'm going to use this tear-in tape because I want it to stick really well to that corrugated piece. The harder you kind of press down and burnish it, you can use your bone folder, the easier it is to get that back layer off. There we go. Good. Okay. And now I thought about putting these little butterfly embellishments and the little leaf one onto that piece. I'm just being lazy and using snail. You could use glue dots. They would work. You can also use the liquid glue. That would work great too. And one more. I've got them kind of a little bit over because I wanted to put this is the smaller piece of that stitched rectangle framelits. Now, what was I going to, oh yes, Today and Always is what I was wanting. And that comes from that Lasting Lily stamp set. Now, I didn't even get it mounted on a block. Let's borrow this one, I guess. Now, should we do this? Oh, watch. Today and Always won't fit. You know what? Then let's go with Sympathy. Is that all right if it's white? Sure. I think with Sympathy will fit. Just. Okay, so I will use some crumb cake because that kind of is the similar color to those wood elements. Now, because it's a new stamp that I have not used before, I'm going to make sure that it doesn't have any extra film or coating on it. So stamp it off on your paper first before you actually stamp it on your project, just in case. Okay, now with Sympathy. And you can also pick it up, give it a little rub, just to make sure it's covered. Looks good. Now I think I kind of want to pop that up with dimensionals, so let's do that. This is more my style. Can you tell? Has my voice gone down a little lower, or I'm not so high strung? I'm calm and relaxed now. Okay, let's put that on there, and then let's glue it onto the card base. Let's stick that down, make sure that's stuck. All right, white on white on white. But it works because of all the texture. Isn't that cool? How simple. And for the envelope, what I decided to do was send that flap through the embossing folder, the tufted embossing folder. And look how simple that made that. But it just adds a little something, right? So there we go. It does have beautiful sayings, so I might go back and may the constant love of caring friends bring you comfort and peace. That would be beautiful to have on the inside. All right, so that is that. So I hope you give this technique a try. It's a little different, a little out there, but hey, somebody's ought to love it, right? This is probably a card that even your mother-in-law would love, right? All right, so if you have enjoyed this, I would love for you to help support my business, as I am full-time. To keep it that way, I need a little bit of help. So first off, what you can do is to share this video on your Facebook page. You can talk about it with your friends. You can check it out on YouTube and whatnot. Tell your friends about it. Second thing, you can, like I just said, tell your friends that might be interested in cards. you can get involved in this and how simple it is, because I know you all know how easy cards can be to make, but they are so impactful, which is the awesome part of it. Third thing, you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need to get 100 subscriptions before I can change the long gobbledygook address to the Artsy Fartsy Gallery. So if you could help me by doing that, that would be wonderful. So go to the YouTube, look up the Artsy Fartsy Gallery, and you will see there that there's a red button, I believe, that says subscribe. So if you press that, you will get notices when I put a video on that channel. So, all right, so let's go here, look up the Artsy Fartsy Gallery. Artsy Fartsy Gallery. Another way you could help me, of course, is you could place an order. And of course, right now is the best time of the year. If you order $60 worth of items or more, you get a free item from the Celebration catalog, which is of your choosing. So the catalog has a bunch of things. You can pick which one you love the best. And like I had showed before, those wood elements, these little wood pieces, were free, which is awesome. I love it. Not only that, but if you place an order this month, your name goes into a draw this month for a $20 Stampin' Up! Shopping spree with me. I'll just say spree. All right, next I will send you a handmade card in the mail. Always love getting handmade cards. And I will send you a little gift. And also for the next 3 months, I'm going to give you, if your total is over $40, I'm going to give you a tutorial bundle, which includes 4 of us ladies from all over the world. We have each chosen a stamp set, and we have come up with a card with that stamp set, and it'll be a tutorial on how to make that card. So that is always awesome for ideas and techniques and lots of fun. So there's that. Okay, number 5, if you do order, please use the host code. And for January, that is FQ7HPDCM. And if you do use that, that helps me provide you with better gifts. So you want to make sure you use that. And if you're ready to shop and to use that host code, you can go to www.jenhouston, Jen with 2 N's, Houston's like the city, .stampinup.net. Ran out of room. All right, and lastly, I would love for you to join the Artsy Hearts team. And what that means is you get discounts. Yay! So for $135, you get to pick out $225 worth of stuff. That's $90 of free items. And I tell you, that's why I joined, was because of the amazing discount. It does not mean you have to make videos. It does not mean you have to have card glasses. There are different kinds of people like hobby demos who just buy for them solely for themselves, but they want the discount, of course. Why not? And then there are business kind of demos, and then there are kind of career demos. So you can kind of fit yourself in wherever you feel you kind of, work. And so there's that. And with that, you can, I give out challenges and prize patrols, and we can have little meetings and all sorts of things. So it's lots of fun. We give extra ideas and whatnot. We can challenge each other. So that's an awesome deal right now. And it's the $90 special right now is on for January, February, and March. So you want to get in on that for sure. And if you are ready to say, yeah, I want to get a discount, I'm not giving you my, because really, if you don't get the discount, you're giving me the discount. So you either get it or I get it. So you might as well get it. If you're ready to do this, you can go to my blog, which is the Artsy Fartsy Gallery.com, and on there I think it says get 20% off, and that link will send you right to all the pages so that you can sign up to get your discount and all the wonderful perks that you can get for joining the Artsy Hearts team, as well as Stampin' Up. It's wonderful. All right, I hope that you have had fun today. I look forward to seeing your versions of the card we made today. Please post under this video in the comments, and then by Wednesday we will do a drawing from everybody who's posted for another little gift. Everybody loves gifts. So there hasn't been many people. So your chances of winning a gift are incredible. So get your pictures on there. It doesn't matter if it doesn't look perfect. Of course, it's handmade, right? Handmade is meant to be, you know, it's not a machine that made it. So it is going to have quirks and it's going to have little things with it. But so don't be shy. Everyone, as you know, stampers are wonderful people and they're always very encouraging and positive. So just do it. All right. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I should have had this view all along. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm sorry. And we will see you on Wednesday at Coffee and Cards, 7 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time. Have a good one.